Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we have the Alpha Breeze again, and it's been a little while, I know, and I have to say it feels really good camping with this one after so long. I mean, it hasn't been that long, but it's felt like quite a while since I've been in this one. So for those of you who don't know, we've had the Alpha Breeze for a little over a year now, and we've recently switched to a spring bar canvas tent, the Vagabond model to be specific, and that's a really nice tent as well. So I thought maybe in this video I was going to bring this tent back out, and I kind of want to go over the differences I've noticed between the two different tents. They're obviously like really different from one another in terms of specs and materials and everything else, but I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit about the experience of using this tent versus that tent and just kind of share my thoughts on it in this video. So probably one of my favorite features about the Alpha Breeze is the front awning right here. It's just really nice as a one setup type of deal where you don't have to have extra tarps or anything else. If you just want a really nice quick weekend setup for up to 2 people, I'd say this is perfect. We have a 3-year-old that comes with us, and it's a little bit small for the 3 of us, but I'd say if it was just the 2 of us or just one of us, this would be plenty spacious, and honestly it's probably the way I would go to just simplify my setup. So I've recently been getting more tarps, and I do like having those tarps as well. It really does create a more comfortable living space out here for extended trips, but for 1 to 2 night trips, having a one setup tent with awning built in, I have to say it's really nice. So when I planned this trip, I needed it to be super efficient because I was getting off work really late the night before we got here. So I didn't have any time really to pack because I was working the days before as well. So I was trying to figure out a way, what is the most minimal, simple setup I can have out here basically with the gear I already have. So what I ended up bringing was my wood stove, my Winterell Nomad medium. I brought my single action low table for eating on and just prep work. 2 low beach chairs and a ton of firewood because I'm still kind of new with my wood stove, so I'm not really sure how much it uses, but I find it to be really efficient. I'm always bringing way too much wood because I'm used to using an open fire pit, but with this it's really efficient in terms of how it burns the wood. So I always bring way too much and I end up taking it all back home, which is fine. I'd rather have more than less because when you're out here you never know if, your battery might die. I mean, you should probably get a battery charger too. I'll link one down below. One time that happened to me, and luckily there was another van lifer that had some really cool battery charger and hooked me up with that. But anyway, aside from that, yeah, so the wood stove is really efficient, and that's what I've been doing all my cooking on. Actually, the last 3 trips actually, I've done all my cooking on this wood stove. And I really like it. So inside the tent, we actually got the new Snow Peak mat set. I was on the fence about getting it, but I know I'm going to be having this Alpha Breeze around for quite some time. So I said, why not just, make it even more comfortable and get the right fitting ground sheet. Mine was a little bit off. It was starting actually to tear when I just last opened it up. And it's totally repairable. Honestly, you could just throw some duct tape over it. It's just black plastic sheeting. There's nothing wrong with it. I still have it. I still might use it for like other things as well. No need to toss it. But I said since I'm going to be having this tent around for quite a while, I'm just going to get the right footprint with it. So most of the cost actually comes from that foam mat that's actually inside the tent. I was actually pretty surprised how nice it is. I'm right now on some gravel, but I could imagine like if we were on like the grass or something like that, you could honestly probably just use that as your sleeping pad if you just threw maybe like an extra blanket down on top of it or fold it in half or something like that with the mat. Honestly, I think you could get by a couple nights, 1 or 2 nights with that. Even on this gravel, we were laying on there for a while just testing it out, and we were pretty surprised how comfortable it actually was. So that mat is actually really nice. It's a perfect fit on the Alpha Breeze. They did a great job with that. And so it's nice. It's fine. It's definitely expensive. It's not 100% necessary in a lot of situations, especially since I already had like a Pendleton that I throw down on the floor anyway. But since you're going to be having this tent around a long time, it's not a bad accessory to add to it. And it definitely adds to the comfort of it when you're just inside, spending time inside this tent. So yeah, over here we have our Exped Megamat Duo long wide, still holding up great. We've got some new sheets recently. Another subscriber on here who I talked to found these awesome sheets online. These Saijo, I think I'm saying it right. Saijo. I'm gonna link the actual sheets down below. But they're the Eucalyptus sheets, and I have to tell you, they are incredible sheets. I was using cotton, just regular cotton sheets actually before this, and what a difference, I'm telling you. Like, I knew the cotton sheets were horrible. It's just one of those things, like, I was looking online, I'm like, okay, what sheet should I get? And I kept researching it a little bit, and finally I just got fed up. I was like, alright, forget it, I'm just gonna stick with the cotton sheets, because I don't even want to deal with these. All these sheet prices are like ridiculous, and I wasn't even sure what I was paying for, honestly, on a lot of them. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to stick with these for now until I find something good. And fortunately, someone shared these with me, and I'm telling you, these have been a huge game changer with just the sleep system. One of the biggest ones, I'm telling you. These don't get clammy and damp feeling like cotton sheets would. These stay really nice and comfortable in all weather conditions. They almost feel like silk, and they definitely will keep you like warmer when it's cold and cooler when it's warm. It sounds odd, but if you need sheets, I'm telling you guys, give these Saijo sheets a try. They're honestly really nice and really well made. I've used them several times right now. They still look brand new, and they feel really great, honestly. So thank you for recommending these, seriously. They've been a huge game changer for us. We have our Rei Packaway bin here. That's just our gear storage, clothes storage, just accessories, whatnot. We just keep everything in there to keep it off the tent floor, and it's just really easy to just grab and get and find your stuff, basically. Just a big suitcase for us in a lot of ways. We have our single action table. This is just if we want to hang out in the tent. Maybe it's raining outside, or the bugs are pretty bad. I always like bringing it because we do end up using it. Sometimes we don't always end up using it a ton, but it's nice to have it in there for sure, like when the weather gets bad or if the bugs are coming out. It's nice just sitting around a table in there, and the cushions are actually surprisingly comfortable, and they don't take up a lot of room, which is nice. So we do like those cushions a lot with that table, and yeah, inside here is it's really cozy is what I would say. It's a really cozy but comfortable tent. So the spring bar is more like closer to like a mini cabin, I would say, like a mini tiny cabin where you can stand up fully in the whole tent and just walk in and out of it like it's normal. And this one you can definitely walk into it, but the way the lines carved down on the roof, it creates a more cozy feel, which is really nice. So I'm not saying one is better than the other, I'm just saying the way it feels is different for sure. So this one's definitely more compact, more cozy. That one is more big and open, basically. So when you walk in, you have full height already plus some. 6'5", I think, 6'5" for the height on that one. This one, I think the peak height is 6'2". But yeah, there's plenty of headroom on both tents. But just know on the Alpha Breeze, the headroom is basically right along that ridge in the middle. So that's going to be your peak height, and from there on, it slopes down dramatically in the back and then just gradually in the front. So I'm 5'8", and I'm very comfortable, I'd say, walking inside the tent, changing clothes, stuff like that. But any taller than that, you'll probably be rubbing your head against the ceiling, which still isn't a huge deal in a lot of cases. But if you're looking for that true standing height tent, spring bar or another tent for that matter, or any other tent basically with a more rounded basically roof that's a true 6 foot plus height, ceiling height, might be a better fit for you. But yeah, this one, like I said, you do have that, you'll definitely have the standing height in the center of it, but it does, like I said, it does drop down just slightly on the front and definitely more so in the back. I guess when it comes down to it, the thing that I've always liked about the Alpha Breeze is the way it feels. It has a really good feeling inside. I don't know. I think it's the windows and just the shape of it, just the way the line's sculpted. It's a really nicely designed tent inside and out. And it feels really great. I don't know. Just camping with it just feels really good again. I like the compact setup of it. It's not a huge tent by any means, which is what I like. And it has just about everything I would ever want in a tent. Basically, it has a nice front covered porch that keeps you comfortable when the sun's out. Like right now, if I didn't have this, I'd be in the direct sun. So this is quite nice. It creates a nice little cozy space under here. Inside is plenty comfortable for a nice sized mattress, and you still have plenty of room to sit around and hang out. It's really bright. So the ivory color lets in a ton of light, basically. So it's really bright. My spring bar, I actually got the opposite colorway. I got the bison color, which is like a dark grayish brown, and it actually is somewhat well lit. It's well lit. I wouldn't say it's dark. It's actually surprisingly well lit because the ceiling is ivory, but the sides are dark, so it creates like a really interesting, nice atmosphere. I like both. I think it would be really interesting if Snow Peak created something similar to that, because I really do like that bison colorway on the sides. The way it casts the light in there is really nice. So I think it'd be interesting if Snow Peak played around with the panels on their inner tents, like this one in particular, if they made basically the walls maybe a darker fabric and then kept the ceiling that ivory color, kind of like the spring bar. I think that would be interesting. I think that would definitely be interesting and would create a whole different feel, because this one is really bright. And I know I've talked about it with some people on here too before, that how does it affect your sleep? Because, in the summertime, the sun's out pretty late if you want to go to bed a little bit early if you're tired. And it definitely is a bright tent, and especially after switching to the spring bar, I noticed a huge difference in the morning. I mean, it's dark in there, very dark actually in the morning when the sun's low. This one, once the sun starts peeking out, it definitely gets brighter in there for sure. It's not like a blindingly bright light, I wouldn't say by any means, but it's definitely well lit all around, which is nice in some ways, but also I could see like around like sleeping times when you're trying to take a nap or something like that. That's where basically having a darker tent could have its advantages for sure. I think what I'd really like to make the perfect tent would be like an Alpha Breeze Pro. An Alpha Breeze Pro. I think Snow Peak needs to do it. I might even just slightly increase this front porch, just very slightly. I think maybe a foot longer, and then having it draped down on the sides for wind and rain and all weather conditions. I think that would be really nice. Even offering like a potential like screen for the bugs. I like everything about the shape of this tent. The size of it is perfect. I wouldn't change anything with the tent itself, I think. The tent is perfect. Maybe they can beef up the fabrics a little bit. The zippers, maybe slightly heavier duty zippers would be good too. I do like those heavy duty zippers on the spring bar, but I don't know if that would play into the difference on the lightweight fabric if they added heavier zippers. I don't know. Maybe like a slightly heavier grade of zipper would be nice. But more important than that is, I think, just improving this front awning. I see some improvements, and I would definitely pay more money if this one could enclose like their Pro Series tents. If there was some sort of enclosure on this, that would be really nice. Also, it would be nice if it extended out just a little bit further. Not too far, maybe about a foot more would be really nice. And just having those sides closed down, maybe having an optional bug net on the front with a zip down in the middle that I can stake into the ground. That would be perfect. But as is, I'm really happy with the Alpha Breeze, honestly. It's a really great tent, and it feels really good camping with it again, with this one setup. I set this whole thing up super fast, and I think it's actually going to rain tomorrow or tonight or something like that. So I have a lot less to dry off when I go home. It's just going to be the tent and the rainfly. So it's not too bad to air out when I get back. And I liked having this really minimal setup, honestly. It was really comfortable. And before we end this video, I actually want to show you guys a new product I got. It's this Dometic water jug here with a sink attachment. And I have to say, this is a pretty cool system, actually, that I just found out about. So the water jug, as is, doesn't come with the sink, but it comes with a little spigot that you can attach and use it like that. But I definitely recommend this sink attachment. So it's actually battery operated. It comes with a rechargeable battery. Press this button twice, and it has a light built in actually on the bottom, and you have running water, like actual water just coming out, which is really nice. And just press it off. I think it has an auto shut off after so many seconds or liters it dispenses or something like that. So it comes with this hose, which isn't too long, but you just basically can wrap around it, and it unattaches here just as you'd expect. To put it in, you just push this and click it in place, and yeah, you have running water with a sink and everything. I have mine on a bowl because it's a little bit short for this sink here, but yeah, it works great, honestly, and it's a lot better than the Scepters that I was using before. Alright, so that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this one. I have to say, it was really nice coming back to the Alpha Breeze after a little while there. Both tents are really nice. Both the Spring Bar and the Alpha Breeze are both great tents, very high quality tents. And I have to say, you can't go wrong with either tent. They're both really good. Just know that the Snow Peak comes in, this one at least, comes in at about half the price of a Spring Bar tent. So The cost could be one of the decision factors in there. So if you don't want to set up additional tarps or the places you go have limited space, this is a pretty good self-contained one-stop option basically with tarp, tent, everything in it for the rain. Whereas the spring bar, I'm always putting a tarp over it to make sure I keep it dry basically in raining conditions, which is nice as well, and it creates a nice little setup out there. But for really quick and convenient and light setups at a really good price, I'm gonna be honest, like, you can't really beat the Alpha Breeze for what it offers. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, make sure to comment down below and we can always chat about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.